Another night, another World Cup memory. Welcome back to the Armchair Galácticos podcast. Tonight's episode, Brazil versus Norway. Norway just wrote the greatest chapter in their football history, and they did it by beating five-time champions Brazil 2-1 at MetLife Stadium. Erling Haaland scored twice in the final 11 minutes to send Norway through to their first ever World Cup quarterfinal. Brazil are out at their earliest stage since 1990. For 78 minutes, though, this game belonged to a goalkeeper. Ørjan Nyland was extraordinary. Brazil won an early penalty when Christopher Ayer clattered into Matheus Cunha in the box. The referee waved it away on the pitch. VAR overturned him. And Bruno Guimarães stepped up. Nyland guessed correctly, dove low to his left, and saved it. That was the pattern of the entire match. He got a fingertip to a Martinelli drive that was heading in. He stuck out a leg to deny Vinicius Jr. Late in the second half, he produced an outrageous backpedaling save to stop Christopher Ayer looping a clearance into his own net. Brazil created chance after chance, and Nyland turned away every single one. Brazil had their moments too. Vinicius Jr. slipped teenager Endrick through with a gorgeous outside of the boot pass in the second half, and Endrick, one-on-one, dinked the ball just wide as Nyland rushed out to close him down. That's the margins we're talking about here. A 19-year-old with the entire game in front of him, and he kind of flubbed it. Patrick Berg also thought he'd given Norway an early lead in the third minute, but that was ruled out for offside in the build-up, which tells you the whole night could easily have swung the other way at several points. And then, because football at this level tends to reward the guy who puts the ball in the net, Erling Haaland took over. 79th minute. Andreas Schjelderup brought on for Alexander Sorloth at halftime as one of Ståle Solbaken's two substitutions whips in a cross from the left. Haaland rises above Gabriel Magalhaes and powers a header into the corner. 1-0 Norway. 11 minutes later, with Brazil pushing everything forward, Haaland gets it again on the edge of the box and hammers a low drive past Alisson. 2-0. That's his 7th goal of the tournament. Level with Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappé at the top of the Golden Boot race. Brazil got a goal back in the 10th minute of stoppage time. Neymar, who'd come on in the 67th minute to enormous roars from a stadium full of Brazil supporters, won and converted a penalty after some kind of confrontation with Nyland following an elbow on Casemiro. He buried it. 2-1. It was academic by then, but it mattered enormously for one specific reason. It was Neymar's 4th World Cup with a goal, matching Pelé, and it made him Brazil's all-time leading scorer with 80 international goals. He was in tears at the final whistle. Talking to Globo afterward, he said, quote, I tried, now it's over. I started here, I finished here. That sure sounded like a goodbye. Brazil's coach Carlo Ancelotti didn't sugarcoat the result either. He said, quote, it is a very disappointing result, and all of us are really saddened. We are going to take this defeat and use it as fuel for the new cycle. The post-World Cup inquest begins in Brazil for the 6th time in a row. On the other side of it, pure jubilation. Erling Haaland called it, quote, one of the most insane days in Norwegian history, and said the win would, quote, write history in Norway. Ståle Solbaken didn't hold back either. This is the greatest night in Norwegian football history. This is a country that had never beaten Brazil before at a first World Cup appearance since 1998, now sitting in their first ever quarterfinal. After the final whistle, Haaland led his teammates in an on-pitch Viking row in front of the traveling Norwegian support, banging a drum like a man who fully understood the enormity of the moment. Solbaken said afterward that the whole country was doing the same thing back home. The couch predicted Brazil to win 2-1. We got the winner backwards and had no earthly idea Nyland was going to save a penalty and stand on his head for 78 minutes. Wrong on basically everything except correctly clocking that Haaland was inevitable, which, at this point, is like predicting that water is wet. Confidence rating humbled, and happily so, because this was one of the best stories the tournament has produced. Norway now face England in the quarterfinal in Miami on July 11th. Whatever happens there, nobody in Norway is going to stop talking about tonight for a very long time. That's the Armchair Galactico's read on Brazil versus Norway. The couch is signing off, right about some of it, wrong about most of it, same as always.